So, welcome back to True Life Knowledge, and today we're going to talk about Demosthenes. Demosthenes was one of the best, greatest orators in antiquity. It is said that he built himself a cabin, a hole in the ground near the sea, and that he would practice writing and declaring the speeches of the greatest orators in antiquity. And with this, he got extremely good with it. And it is said that he had an impediment, a stutter, and that he would put marbles or stones in his mouth, and that he would speak with that in front of the ocean, even the waves, and that he tried to be louder than the waves. Then he would make vigorous physical activity and declaim at the same time. So this is the man of today, and it is said that he was about 330 BC, and I have always made common cause with the people. So yes, he chose some things that was important to the people. So let us begin. It was my lot, Aeschines, when a boy, to frequent the schools suited to my station, and to have wherewithal to avoid doing anything mean through want. When I emerged from boyhood, I did, as was consistent with my origin, fill the office of cogerus, furnished galleys, contributed to the revenue, and was wanting in no acts of munificence, public or private, but ready to aid both my country and my friends. When I entered into public life, I deemed it proper to choose the course which led to my being repeatedly crowned both by my country and the other Greek states, so that not even you, my enemies, will now venture to pronounce the part I took other than honorable. Such then were my fortunes. But you, venerable men, who look down upon others, see what kind of fortunes were yours compared with mine. Brought up from your boyhood in an abject poverty, you both were helper in your father's school, and you ground the ink, sponged the forms, and swept the room, doing the work of a household slave, not of a free-born youth. When grown up, you recited your mother's book as she performed her mysteries, and you helped in her other trickeries. At night, dressed like a bacchanal, and draining the goblet, and purifying the initiated, and rubbing them with clay, and with bran rising from the lustration, you ordered them to cry, I have fled to evil, I have found the good, bragging that none ever roared so loud before, and truly I believe it, for do not doubt that he who now speaks out so lustily did not then howl most splendidly. I come to the charges that apply to your life and conversation. You chose that line of policy, ever since the plan struck your mind, by which, as long as the country flourished, you led the life of the hare, frightened and trembling, and perpetually expecting the scourge for the offences of which you were conscious. But when all others were suffering, you were seen in high spirits by all. But he who was so cheerful after the death of thousands of his fellow citizens, what does he deserve to suffer at the hands of the survivors? Draw then the parallel between your life and mine, Aeschines, quietly and not acrimoniously, and demand of this audience which of the two each of them had rather chose for his own. You were an usher, I a scholar, you were an initiator, I was initiated. You danced at the games, I presided over them. You were a clerk of the assembly, I remember, you, a third-rate actor. I a spectator, you were constantly breaking down, I always hissing you. Your measures were all in the enemy's favor, mine always in the country's. And, in a word, now on this day the question as to me is whether or not I shall be crowned, while nothing whatever is alleged against my integrity, while it is your lot to appear already as a calumniator, and the choice of evils before you is that of still continuing your trade, or being put to silence by failing to obtain a fifth of the votes. Among all other men I observe these principles and these distinctions to prevail. Does any one wilfully do wrong? He is the object of indignation and punishment. Does anyone commit an error unintentionally? He is pardoned, not punished. Has one, who neither does any wrong nor commits any error, devoted himself to a course which to all appeared expedient, and has he been in common with all disappointed of success? It is not fair to reprobate or to attack him, but to condole with him. All this is established not only in all our jurisprudence, but by nature herself in her unwritten laws, and in the very constitution of the human mind. Thus has Aeschines so far surpassed all other men in cruelty and calumny, that those same things which he enumerates as misfortunes he also imputes to me as crimes. In what circumstances, then, ought a statesman and an orator to be vehement? When the state is in jeopardy, upon the ruin of affairs, when the people are in conflict with the enemy, then it is that the strenuous and patriotic citizen appears. But when Aeschines cannot pretend to have any ground whatever for even charging me with any offense in public life, or, I will add, in private, either in the name of the country or his own, for him to come forward with a vamped-up attack on my crowning and my honors, and to waste so many words upon this subject, is the working of personal spite and envy, and a little mind, and shows no good man. To me, indeed, Aeschines, it appears from these speeches of yours as if you had instituted this impeachment through desire of making a display of vociferation, not of punishing anyone's misconduct. For it is not the speech of the orator, Aeschines, that avails, nor yet the compass of his voice, but his feeling in unison with the community and bearing enmity or affection towards them whom his country loves or hates. He that thus possesses his soul speaks ever with right feeling. But he that boasts to those from whom the country has danger to apprehend does not anchor in the same roadstead with the people. Accordingly, he does not look for safety from the same quarter. But mark me, I do, for I have always made common cause with the people, nor I have ever taken any course for my peculiar and individual interest. Can you say as much? Then how, you, who instantly after the battle went on the embassy to Philip, the cause of all that in these times befell your country, and that after refusing the office at all former periods, as everyone knows? But who deceives the country? Is it not he that says one thing and thinks another? And who is he upon whom at every assembly solemn execration is proclaimed? Is it not such a man as this? What coarse charge can any one bring against an orator, than that his words and his sentiments do not tally? Yet you have been discovered to be such a man, and you still lift your voice and dare to look this assembly in the face? What alliance ever accrued to the country of your making, or what succors, or goodwill, or glory of your gaining, or what embassy, or what other public functions, whereby the state acquired honor? What domestic affair, or concern of the great states, or of strangers, over which you presided, was ever set right through you? What galleys, what armaments, what arsenal, what repairs of the walls, what cavalry? In what one of all these particulars have you ever proved useful? What benefits has ever accrued to either rich or poor from your fortunes? None. But hark, says someone, if nothing of all this was done, at least there existed good dispositions and public spirit. Where? When? You most wicked of men, your contribution nothing was not owing to your poverty, but to your taking special care nothing you did should ever counteract the schemes of those to whom all your policy was subservient. In what, then, are you bold, and when are you magnificent? When anything is to be urged against your countrymen, then are you most copious of speech, most profuse of money, most rich in memory, a first-rate actor, the Theocrines of the stage. Two qualities, men of Athens, every citizen of ordinary worth ought to possess. I shall be able, in general terms, to speak of myself in the least invidious manner. He should both maintain in office the purpose of a firm mind and the course suited to his country's preeminence, and on all occasions and in all his actions the spirit of patriotism. This belongs to our nature. Victory and might are under the dominion of another power. These dispositions you will find to have been absolutely inherent in me. For observe, neither when my head was demanded, nor when they dragged me before the Amphictyons, nor when they threatened, nor when they promised, nor when they let loose on me these wretches like wild beasts, did I ever abate in any particular my affection for you. This straightforward and honest path of policy, from the very first, I chose the honor, the power, the glory of my country to promote, this to augment, in this to have my being. Never was I seen going about the streets elated and exulting when the enemy was victorious, stretching out my hand, and congratulating such as I thought would tell it elsewhere. But hearing with alarm any success of our own armies, moaning and bent to the earth like these impious men, who rail this country as if they could do so without also stigmatizing themselves, and who, turning their eye abroad and seeing the prosperity of the enemy in the calamities of Greece, rejoice in them and maintain that we should labor to make them last forever. Let not, O gracious God, let not such conduct receive any manner of sanctions from thee. Rather plant, even in these men, a better spirit and better feelings. But if they are wholly incurable, then pursue themselves, yea, themselves by themselves, to utter and untimely perdition by land and by sea, and to us who are spared, vouchsafe to grant the speediest rescue from our impending alarms, and an unshaken security. Okay, so this was one of his speeches. As I recall, he wrote a lot of speeches, and maybe in the future I will procure some of them and read them too. I hope that you appreciate my work, and in the future I plan to give myself a new microphone, and I plan to improve the visuals of my videos. But as I have already stated, English is not my first language, and I don't know very much about editing videos and creating videos, so I am focusing on doing a great job, and I think that I'm doing maybe a good job, not great, but maybe good. One thing is that I'm speaking in another language, and another thing is that I'm speaking without any preparation, and I'm speaking to improve my English and to become a better speaker and to read great stuff. So I read in these speeches because they offer us to look into the past and to see what great achievements did our bare fathers did to us. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you appreciate my work, and I'm planning to improve, as I have stated, and wish you all a good